2026 has arrived, and with it, as usual, come a bunch of new anime games. Whether they're actually licensed with a show that you've watched, or just have a general anime vibe and aesthetic, I have curated a list of the main releases for 2026 to give you an idea of what to expect this year. Fair warning, some of these may not even come out this year. They might be even further along. When in doubt, just look at the bottom of the screen. It should always have the game name and the most accurate date I've found. But it wouldn't be a new year in gaming without a bunch of remasters and re-releases, so let's kick things off with those. We start the year with Fairy Tail Dungeons coming out for the Switch, and on that same day, the PC version is getting updated with a bunch of extra content. I love this Fairy Tail roguelike. It was one of my favorite games of 2024, and if you want to try it out, there's a free demo on Steam. Dragon Quest VII is getting remastered again. This time it seems it was completely rebuilt from the ground up, and it also has a demo that just came out if you want to try this one out as well. BlazBlue Entropy Effect X is the console release for this roguelike side-scroller that players have been loving on PC for the past 2+ years. The console version comes with some new content and characters on February 12. Also in February, Wise X is getting an enhanced version. The action RPG is getting some quality of life changes and some new content, though folks that already played the Japanese version say that it may be hard to justify the whole game again. They would have preferred it as DLC. But hey, if you're new to Wise X, maybe this version is the way to go. And from the new, we turn to the old. City Hunter was a PC Engine game released only in Japan. It's now gonna have English text for the first time as they port this game over to Steam. Tales of Berseria is also getting remastered in February as Bandai Namco brings the PlayStation 3 and 4 game into the PS5 and PC. And for the first time, brings it to Xbox as well. Fate Extra Record is a remake of Fate Extra for the PSP from back in 2010. So it's now coming to the PS4 and 5, the Nintendo Switch, and PC. So if you're a Fate fan, you might finally be able to play this dungeon crawler RPG. Solo leveling Arise Overdrive is what happens when you remove the gacha from a free-to-play game and charge $40 for it. The result is definitely a much better game, but one that still wasn't able to grab me when I tried it on PC. But sometime this year, it will have a console release, so you'll be able to judge it for yourself. Danganronpa 2x2 is a remake of the second Danganronpa, coming out with enhanced visuals and an enhanced version of the game's story, along with a whole new story route as well. And to close out this section, we have Persona 4 Revival, which is rumored to come out this year, but we still have no official date. With the success of Persona 3 Reload though, this one can't be far behind. Alright, and from this point on, it's only brand new games. Let's talk about licensed games. After all, they are the bread and butter of this channel. And we kick off this category with the 7 Deadly Sins Origin coming out at the end of January. I had really high hopes for this one, but the beta did not convince me. I'll try it again at launch, but I just don't know about this one. At the beginning of February, we have My Hero Academia All's Justice. This arena fighter is now a tag game, and the rising system gives each character a unique power-up in battle. Plus, they don't just have the traditional story mode this time around, they've got a whole open world where you can just free roam using each hero's abilities. This feels like more than your typical anime game sequel, and that is why this is my most anticipated anime game of the year. And also sometime in February, we are getting a laid-back camp game that looks really close to Overcooked. It kinda makes sense, not gonna lie. For now, it's only coming out in Japanese, but you can still buy it on Steam as far as I know. Pokemon is coming out with a different game this year, Pokemon Pokopia. They took the developers of Dragon Quest Builders and said, make us a Pokemon Minecraft game. And so you play as Ditto, imitating a human, and you gather, you craft, you befriend new Pokemon, and build your town over time. And now for a complete 180. Queen's Blade Rebuild is a horny card game. I mean, you didn't expect to see a list like this without a horny card game, did you? I'm honestly surprised it took this long. Solo Leveling is getting another new game this year, Solo Leveling Karma. It's an isometric action game, you know, Diablo style, and it's from the same developer of Solo Leveling Arise, which is why the two games share the same vibe. There may be some reused assets here, but completely shifting the perspective and gameplay is gonna give us a whole different experience. Also sometime this year, we'll get Samurai Pizza Cat's Blast from the Past, a side-scrolling action game where you can switch between 3 different characters with different abilities, and it has that Cuphead look, which is still incredible. Very excited for this one. In the fighting game space, we've got Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, where Arc System Works took Marvel and made it anime as hell. It's a new kind of fighting game with a system that allows you to play with 4 different Marvel characters, or just focus on one and use the rest as assists. It's been getting a mixed reception from fighting game fans, so we'll see how things turn out. And since we're talking about fighting games, allow me to to bring up a couple of other titles that you may consider anime adjacent, but I thought there would be no harm in mentioning them here, like Invincible Versus. It's coming out at the end of April. This is a more traditional 3v3 tag fighter developed by the makers of Killer Instinct with rollback netcode and a launch roster of 18 characters. Avatar Legends, the fighting game, is a bit further away. We're not even sure if it comes out this year, but it's going to be a 1v1 fighting game that's been getting a lot of praise from folks who played the first alpha test. Players love the systems, the pace of combat, and of course, the rollback netcode. And also somewhere in the future is Saturday AM Battle Manga. We only have a small announcement trailer so far, so this might be further away than 2026. But I see a lot of Dragon Ball fighters in these combos, so I like it. Also far away might be the new Gachiakuta game. It was recently announced at Jump Festa with a cinematic trailer, so we still have no gameplay, but we do know that it's going to be a console game and it's going to be a survival RPG. I can't wait to learn more about it. On the mobile side of things, and by that I do mean mobile cross PC, because that's how most mobile games go nowadays, we have Tougen, Anki, Crimson, Inferno. This is going to be a turn-based RPG based on the Tougen Anki anime. And then we also have Digimon Alysion. This one is purely mobile, but it will allow you to play the Digimon card game. Fans of the card game will finally have a way to play it digitally, and that is awesome. KochiKame has a simulation game coming out. They went with pixel art for this one. You build a shopping street that is full of minigames, and you just aim to become a billionaire. And last but definitely not least, we have The Hidden Ones. Another mobile cross PC, though we've heard rumors that this one is coming to PlayStation as well, and this could very well be the future of arena fighters. Server-based rollback netcode, incredible fighting systems, a cool roster, a cinematic story mode, and I could go on. I loved what I played of this game. It was supposed to come out last year, but then they delayed it. Surely, this is the year for The Hidden Ones. We'll see. Well, that was definitely the biggest category in this video, so I feel like I need to take a break. Let's quickly get through the Hoyo Zone. Now, I don't mean to call any of these games Genshin clones or anything like that, but MiHoYo definitely popularized this genre a lot. Think of this category as the games that usually win Player's Choice at the Game Awards for some reason that is definitely not bribing. Arknights Endfiled is the only one on this list with a release date, by the way, and it's very soon. This game has a crazy good look. Most of the games on this list do, but you kind of expect that for games that are coming out in the far future. This one is coming out in a few weeks, so yeah, color me impressed. Ananta, formerly called Project Mugen, is the game that is trying to be Spider-Man, Grand Theft Auto, Uncharted, and maybe it will stick the landing on any of those. Neverness to Everness, on the other hand, seems to focus a bit more on the Grand Theft Auto side of things, while having a more surreal anime setting, but it's definitely about that city life. Silver Palace goes back to the Victorian era for a detective story. It's also an open world with a combat system that mixes melee action and third-person shooting. Limit Zero Breakers goes a lot harder on the anime stylization, leaving the realism behind. Mappa has apparently worked on this game's animations, so that's a huge selling point. Other than that, seems like another one of those. And then we have MiHoYo themselves, who are apparently making 3 new games on top of updating everything they already have. We have Petit Planet, which is their take on Animal Crossing, but instead of an island, you get a planet. We have Honkai Nexus Anime, which seems like a mix between Pokemon and Teamfight Tactics to me, because they are just geniuses at making money. And finally, Varsapura, which is another game with a mind-blowing look, very evocative of Control in both setting and vibes, and yet it feels like the most realistic and grounded out of all of these titles, and that is crazy if you think about it. But that's it for the Hoyo Zone. Let's dive into the final chapter of this video, something I've simply called anime vibes. These games are not attached to an anime license, but they are clearly going for that anime look and feel. And in January, we have the newest entry in the Trails series, The Legend of Heroes: Trails Beyond the Horizon. It is the 13th entry in the Trails series. It's been out in Japan for over a year now, but it's finally coming to the West on PlayStation, PC, and Switch. And at the end of the month, we have Code Vein 2, where they looked at everything fans liked about the first Code Vein and said, let's do more of that. And so you have more weapons, more bosses, bigger areas, and more everything. It's one of the big games of January. Fast forward to March, and we have anime Monster Hunter. That's right, Monster Hunter Stories 3 returns that turn-based battle system where I'm sure you will fight a Rathalos at some point. Screamer seems like a very unique racing game where you're not only trying to win by driving better, you're constantly battling your opponents and managing a bunch of unique meters. And while looking at gameplay, I questioned if this was an anime game, and then I saw the story trailer and oh yeah, it's very much anime. And it's also coming out in March. Denshattack is like Tony Hawk meets the style of a Jet Set Radio, and you're a train instead of a dude on a skateboard. Yeah, you're an anime train doing tricks. That's about as hard as I need to pitch this game. I am so sold. In Falsus is a rhythm game tied to a card system, and it has a narrative behind it. I don't know, feels like Osu fans might get really behind this game. And I have left Netcode Warriors for last, because once again we have no idea when this comes out, but it's an arena fighter built from the ground up for competition, and it will have rollback netcode as well. It's from the same developer that's making Saturday AM Battle Manga that we talked about earlier, but this one, instead of getting a license to make the game, they just got the artist that designed Digimon, and that's the look they are going for. But that's anime games in 2026. I hope this video has given you an idea of what to expect this year. Let me know which games you're looking forward to the most in the comments down below, and for more anime games, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Thanks for watching. Boy.